Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Aaron and this is Boardscape. Today I want to go over the new game by Chip Theory Games, Hoplomachus Victorum, and let you know whether or not I think that you should back this or not. Now, obviously it's doing well. It's Chip Theory Games. Everybody knows them. Too Many Bones, the Hoplomachus line, what's that other one? They just did a Burn Cycle. They have a variety of games out there that people have loved. Cloud Spire. And so the fact that this is doing so good with just a 9-day campaign is not a surprise at all. Now, I'm going to do this format again where I'm going to run through the campaign, show you what this game is, and then go over my list of 10 items that I look at in a campaign to know whether or not I want to back it. Just to sort of give you an idea of where I'm at and maybe help you along the way. So first of all, Hoplomachus Victorum. This is going to be I think the fourth game in the Hoplomachus line. Hoplomachus being Chip Theory Games' first game, their first series. And as we'll see later, there's actually going to be two campaigns going on here at once, but really just one. It's a little weird, but it is what it is, right? So, Hoplomachus Victorum is going to be a solo-only game, which we expected to be happening with COVID coming up. It's not a surprise. Well, COVID coming up, it's been here. But we've expected solo games to start to rise as people have been home for a while. They've maybe not been able to really test games properly, so they start to design solo games. It does look like this might have been started before COVID. But it's really cool to see because I love solo games. If I don't have people to play with, I'm still playing board games all the time. And so having solo only games is perfectly up my alley, which we'll see later. So this is going to be a basic look at the game, and just as Chip Theory does, it is absolutely beautiful. You're going to have your mat and your whole land location here. You're gonna have your gladiator stands where you're having everybody really just your resource holder, but they've turned it into a stand to overlook the fight. And I'll admit, I've never played Hoplomachus. I don't know anything about the original 3 games, or is it 1 game and 2 expansions? Standalone games? I'm not sure. If you do know, leave a comment below. So whether that's in the old game or not, the idea of having those as stands is brilliant, I think. So, what's the story here? The story is that in the year 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius was going to explode, but there was a petition and the Romans were able to stop it, right? Well, Pluto got really pissed off, the god Pluto, and really wanted to just bring about the apocalypse. And so he is now working towards that. He's bringing his Scion and he's challenging us to stop him. And so we're going to see that he's sending Scions, he's sending all these guys to try to stop us from bringing about the underworld. And really the whole game is trying to build up to that one final bad guy so that we can fight them, defeat them, and stop Pluto and the apocalypse. So what are we going to get in the box? And first of all, just, again, Chip Theory Games. You can't go wrong with them. I've not had any of their games. I've not played any of their games, but I have wanted to, just based on the quality of the components, how much people have talked about them and loved their games, and their art. Their art is always so good. So what do you get in the box? You're going to get 8 neoprene mats, 4 double-sided ones. There's going to be 8 different areas in this game. You're going to have 1 mat for each area. So depending on where it is that a fight takes place will depend on which mat you use. So I personally, I'm a fan of that. Like, not where you really get to choose, but just where you are, that's where you fight, man. You're going to have 8 or 7 heroes, a crap ton of other chips, one giant mat that we saw to hold everything, And of course it's neoprene. So are the arenas. They're all neoprene because that's what chip theory does. You're gonna have a crap ton of other chips: tactics, arena, Scion chips, the Bane chips, which are going to be things that are really screwing you over. You're gonna have 83 as of now, not including stretch goals, different cards that you're going to be drawing throughout the game. Dice, a tracker, prowess cards. These are going to be ways that you can upgrade your hero and sort of just make them your own. Throughout the game, you're going to be building up an army and changing the way that you fight with these prowess cards, the things that you can do. So you're going to have these dice, the different Scion reference cards, health chips, which, again, a chip theory game, you're going to have all these awesome chips, and then they're going to give you the craptastic health chips, which are usable. But if you want your chips to match everything else, you're going to have to pay $25 on top of the game. Unless, of course, you already have health chips from other games that you can go ahead and use, like Too Many Bones. And then the arena reference cards, because each arena is going to have its own rules, going to have its own ways of play, its own layout, and these cards are going to let you know how those are different and what to do. So, how are you going to play this game? In this game, you're going to pick one of 7 heroes, and then throughout the game, fill out their little hero card here. You're going to have this area where you're building up a Scion influence, and it looks like every 3 times, is that a Bane? Looks like you're getting a Bane token every 3 times, sort of like the Scion might be sending things after you, or Pluto maybe is sending things after you to try to stop you as you gain more and more influence on this track. This game is going to be taking place, I thought that it said 3, this says 4 on here, so I'm not sure, 3 or 4 different acts, unless the 4th act is just fighting the Scion, I'm not sure. So, during each act is going to take approximately an hour and a half to play, and so you're going to have this, it's not a campaign, it's just a 3-act scenario. Maybe you can call it a campaign, I'm not sure. But then you're going to have your different dice up here, your health tracker, your defense, and a place to write down your abilities. And as one of the stretch goals, they are including a neoprene version of this with little, little, like, markers or whatever that you can mark off these things. So, neoprene, right? Throughout the game, you're going to be traveling from location to location, drawing cards, trying to work your way through the world to Vesuvius. And as you're drawing cards, they're going to do good things, bad things, hateful things, prideful things, anything and everything. 83 different cards plus what you're going to get in the stretch goals. And we can see, I'm not really sure what these symbols mean, but like this Winds of Change. You may sacrifice an opportunity card you possess, increase your lineup by 2, and gain a tactic. So the Winds of Change, things are changing, right? You gotta choose. Do I want to keep this opportunity card, or do I want to get rid of that, increase my lineup, and my tactic? This Hubris, hero power, add 1 to the enemy lineup, something something lethal event, win the something something, losing in I don't know why I tried to read that. Anyways, ambush, this is easier. X is equal to the paths connecting to your current location. So you're going to have a variety of people attacking you, right? So 3 different kinds of cards, obviously each is going to have its own niche that it is going towards. And then these are those little, what do they call them? Where is it? Gladiator loss. Oh, your opportunity cards. These are your opportunity cards that are going to change the way that you play. Like the Battlefield Genius, whenever you play a tactic, heal Decimus 1 HP. Or this one, increase your tactical capacity by 1. The Hail of Axes level 1, deal 1 damage to Verigo, add 1 yellow die to her attack this turn. So these opportunities are going to change depending on who you're playing as, and you're going to be able to increase them as well. Now, combat. Combat's going to be very simple, and they boil it down to 4 things. First, you may deploy a gladiator and or a tactic, and so you put them out on the board in these little gladiator spots that are here. The enemies are going to go on these spots, 1, 2, 3 enemies, and you're choosing which of these spots you want to start in. Second, you may move any number of movable gladiators. Then you can trigger any valid abilities. Finally, you may attack and trigger any valid special skills. So, very simplified attacks. Fights, they want you to be able to get in, get out. It's not going to be a 20-step process to go through each fight, which, again, I am a fan of, because too many games try to complicate things to make something like combat their own. And this is leaving it relatively simple, while apparently still leaving plenty of tactics that you can go down. So here we can see the 7 different heroes or Primus that you can play as, and the fact that they are all different. Different starting health, different starting defense. I'm not sure what this orange one is, but whatever it is, it varies between 1 and 2. The dice that you start with, the attacks that you have, the abilities are going to change depending on who you're playing as. And this is going to be one of the main ways that there will be replayability in this game. The fact that there are 7 of these, 5 Scions, plus I think 2 more so far in the stretch goals. That's 7 and 7 that are going to just be, it's going to change the way that you play. It's going to change what you do. It's going to change the way that you build your army, who you want, all these things. I mean, look, Verigo starts with 2 dice, Quick Strike and Deflect. That's going to be very different than somebody like Sea Strider, who starts with 2 black dice, has Confidence and Absorb. And that's going to be even different from Stygian, who has 4 dice, Combat Lock, Quick Strike, and Inspire. So, again, who you play as is going to be one of the main ways that the game changes, because it's going to just change everything. Scions. These are going to be the things that you need to defeat in order to stop Pluto's wrath. And there's going to be 5 in the base game, or 5 here, and then so far 2 more in the stretch goals that we'll look at. And so we have, when you look here, you can see these are their dice, their health, defense, and that symbol, all their different abilities. These are the big, huge bad guys that are going to completely change the way that you want to build up your army based off of who you're going to fight in the end, because the way that you fight Hydra is going to be very different from the way that you fight Teoti or Camazotz. Like, the way that you want to what you want to have in the end is going to drastically change depending on these Scions. The Hydra. So we have the Hydra, we have Teoti. I think I'm saying that right. Big, strong, and ravenous, is one of the world's great evils and is ready to be used in Pluto's employ. Be wary, though, he is threatening alone, but is capable of bringing giants into his thrall. Camazotz, the giant bat. Itzma Cabane, the crocodile, right? Gladiators are terrified of facing him in close combat, but will arrows be strong enough to pierce his skin? And then Calliope, who looks terrifying, because you got these terrifying monsters, and then you have this woman with a look of just terror on her face. Like, when I look at that face, I want to run away. Not because it's a scary face, but because it's just so... She's staring into my soul, right? So then the heroes, who can we play as? The Sea Strider of Lamosians. The Parthian. Arrows might be good against the crocodile. Virigo of the Amazons. Stygiana of Pluto's refugees. Decimus of the New Argonauts. Kraken Lance of the Atlanteans. And Bing King of the Kunlun, a variety of different people from across the Greek-Roman world. Now, when I talked about pledge levels, or when I talked about the games earlier, I mentioned that there's going to be 2 games going on here, but really just 1. And that's because this campaign is all about Victorum, which you can pick up for $95 here. But Hoplomachus, the original game, is being remastered, and you can pick that up for $125, which is only going to be a $5 savings. So I'm sort of tossing that aside, not really talking about that because they don't really have much information about it. I don't really know if the game itself is changing or if they're just upgrading components. Are they streamlining it? I'm not sure. But you're not really going to be saving much by getting it here. And then they have the basic layout of everything you can get. If you want to pick up both, you can get both along with the chips and the bag and the neoprene hero tracker for $255. But then there's going to be these add-ons. So we're going to have the health trackers, $25. The chip bag for $20. Alloy dice for $60. It's a lot. But I get it. They're metal. And then the hero tracker mat for $15. I would almost venture to guess that this would be... I wouldn't say necessary, but the thing to pick up, especially if you already have the premium health chips. So stretch goals, we've had a variety of things increased. Dice given up, more Banes, stadium seating upgrades, cards, ultra thick hero upgrades so that they're double thick. Zahak is going to be the first of the new, what are they called? Scions that we've unlocked. And then we've unlocked the Ultimate Challenge, where when you've defeated every Scion we have to offer, this will provide you the Ultimate Challenge and will remain unrevealed until played. So, who knows? They might not even know what it is yet. But you're only going to find out what this is once you've defeated every other Scion. So that gives you a progress in this game. Not just a, hey, I want to fight this thing today, let's just go with that. This makes you want to fight and defeat all the different guys so that you can finally get to this ultimate challenge. Variety of Scion Banes and other things. And then they show you what is still locked and will be unlockable later. So, as a game, I am excited for this. This was in my top 10, and I can't wait to play it. The question is, am I going to get it now or wait? So, here are going to be my top 10 things that I'm looking at. First is, can it be played solo? That's a simple one to figure out, which the answer is yes. It is a solo-only game, so that's the only way to play, which is going to be good for me. Because I don't think this is a game that, like the regular Hoplomachus, I don't think is going to be a game that would get played in my group. So to have this solo experience, that's a check mark. I'm ready for this. The second thing that I look at, Is this a two or can this be played 2 or 3 player under a 3.5 rating? It looks like overall it would hover about that 3.5 rating. It doesn't look super complicated at all, so it might even be a little less. And can it be played 2 or 3 player? No. Obviously, it's solo only. So that's okay. It won't be for my group, but I can play it still. Number 3, is it app dependent? Heck no. Chip Theory Games, I don't believe, has app dependent or apps for any of their things, which is great. I hate app dependent games. So, number 4, what exclusives are we getting here? What is the point of getting it here on Kickstarter opposed to waiting? With Chip Theory Games, there's not a huge reason to wait. I think on this game you're going to save $20. You're getting it at $95 instead of $115 or $120. So you're saving $20 off of MSRP, plus you're getting a $10 flat rate shipping if you're in the United States, whereas if you get it later, it might cost a little more. So you're saving $20, $30 by picking it up now opposed to later. That's going to be for you to decide whether or not that is enough to back this. And I say that because, for me, that right there is going to probably be one of the main reasons that I do not end up backing this. Now, I am currently at the $5 pledge that gives me access to the pledge manager. But when that comes around, I'm still not sure whether or not I'm going to get this, just because I know this is available later from Chip Theory Games. $20, $30 more, okay, that's not the end of the world. And there is so much coming out on Kickstarter that I am interested in. I'm not sure I can justify picking this up now when I know I can get it later. So I am still very much up in the air, and I'll wait until the pledge manager until I make a decision. But, I mean, I've got my money for Mythic Battles Ragnarok. I'm still saving for Primal. I'm going to have to save a crap ton for Senkokushin. And there are a variety of other smaller games that I am interested in. Soul Reapers, I think is what it's called, is coming out soon that I'm interested in checking out. There are just so many games. Monster Hunter, which I've decided not to back, but wait for retail. So many. So that's going to be a big negative for me. Why? Why spend the money that I don't have when I can save $20 extra and get it later? Number 5, what in my collection is similar to this? And the answer is going to be nothing. I don't have any Chip Theory games. I don't have any Hoplomachus games, obviously. I don't have any theme-wise. I don't have anything like this either. I think that this would primarily take precedence over games like Gloomhaven that I need to pull back out, other fields that I need to finish before I sell. It's going to take place over some of those games, right? For me. So nothing is similar in my collection, which is a big plus because I don't like to have too much overlap where I'm playing one game and never touching the other. Number 6, can I get my money back? Yes, or at least very similar. If I play through it, don't like it, Chip Theory Games, they only sell their games on their website. They're hardly ever on any sort of sale. If Too Many Bones and Cloudspire are any indication, then you'll be able to get your money back, or at least close to it, by selling it if you don't like it. Number 7, the time to play. This game takes 90 minutes per act, meaning if there's 3 acts, that'll be 4.5 hours. If there's 4 acts, then that'll be, 6 hours. But again, the acts act as breaking points. So really it's 90 minutes per play, and then you pull it back out later. So time to play, it's big, but it's not the end of the world. Miniature market and saw this, would I buy it? The answer is, for this price, the answer at $95 is, I don't know. I mean, $95 walking into a retail store like that is a lot. $105 if you include shipping. So I don't know if I walked in there and saw this game, saw all the other games that are available, if I would necessarily pick this up opposed to 2 or 3 others, let alone checking out their ding and dent and seeing what their sales are. This game looked great, but it's going to be one that I have to know for sure I want before walking into a place like Miniature Market. I'm not going to walk in there and see, oh yeah, they got this. They must have had this from Chip Theory Games. It's not an exclusive. It's not a CMON game or... Come on. I hate that word. It's so disgusting. It's not going to be like one of those where Miniature Market has been getting some of the extra stock and you're not really able to get it anywhere else. So, is it campaign-based? Number 9, we've already sort of gone over that. It's not campaign-based, but it's act-based. There's going to be 3 or 4 of them, and those are going to have breaking points. But you can almost count it as campaign-based if you're working your way up to that ultimate challenge, where you're working your way through all of the different Scions. So, I guess it's up to you to decide whether that counts as a campaign or not. Now, cost. Number 10, cost. I'm going with $100, 95 plus $10 shipping, so about $100. For 5 plays, if I play this 5 times, that would be an average of $10 a play. If I play it 10 times, that's an average of $5 a play. If I'm working my way through all of the Scions and to get to that ultimate challenge in the end, I'm definitely going to be playing this 15, 20, maybe even more times, because I'm going to be breaking up these acts. So 7 Scions, 90 minutes an act, say there's 3 acts, there still might be 4, I don't flippin' know, but say there's 3 on the safer side, then that's going to be 21 plays. That's going to be $2.50 a play about. That's not bad at all. I'm down for that. So cost-wise, I'm down for it. I just don't know if the savings is going to be enough to make me back it on Kickstarter or in the Pledge Manager, opposed to waiting and getting it later. So, that's Hoplomachus Victorum. If you found this interesting, if you found this helpful, go ahead and subscribe below. And thank you for joining me. Leave a comment. Let me know what you're planning to do, whether or not this is a game that you're interested in, or if you're backing it, or if you're going to wait and pick it up later. So, as always, thank you for joining me, and game on.